welcome to Wiregrass Haunts. I am Stan Fikes, your host for tonight, and as usual, I have with me my very awesome co-host, Miss Mary Quirion. Mary, are you there?
Yes, I am, Stan. How you doing?
I am blessed, Mary. I say that, and I think about your foot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. If I was a horse, they would have shot me by now, but thank God I'm not a horse.
Yes, thank God. Yeah, that's not good. But I've seen pictures of your foot on Facebook, and it looks bad, and I'm really, really, really worried about you. Um, but we're just gonna have to pray it up and get everything fixed, right?
That's right.
Awesome,
What's the
awesome.
worst that can happen, right? I can come back and haunt you.
Wait a minute now. I'm being haunted by several people, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing. But
It would be a good thing.
I have EVP recorders, so we can talk still. So
Okay. That works for me.
I want to let everybody know we have an awesome show tonight. We have Jay and Marie Yates from Crossing Over Paranormal Society, aka the Cops Crew. These guys have made all kinds of TV shows, haunted case files, ghost adventures, and a whole lot more. And we are going to, here in just a few minutes, we're going to bring them in and talk about some of this stuff. And these guys are just awesome. These are some of the teams. This team here is like some of the teams that I've wanted on the show. The ones that actually care. They're out there for the right reason, and just they're just good people. And so that's another reason why I was so adamant about bringing them on the show. I do have a couple of announcements about Web Paranormal Group. We are starting our busy season. We are shortly going to be at Newton at the battlefield, and we have several investigations I want everybody to watch out for. We have 100-year-old manor we're going to be investigating, and all this is going to be on our website and our YouTube channel and on Facebook. And then, of course, in June, one of our big ones, we're investigating the USS North Carolina battleship. So that's going to be a big one. So we're all right now, preparations are being made. So it takes a long time to come up with do something like that. So, but well, Mary, are you ready to bring on our guests?
I definitely am.
Awesome. Well, everybody, without further ado, Mr. Jay and Marie Yates. Guys, are you there?
Hello. Yep, we're here.
Yes. Hi. How you guys doing?
Awesome. We're just wonderful. Mary's got her foot propped up, and
welcome, guys. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like I was saying, I've really, really wanted you guys to be on the show. I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook and on YouTube and other places about some of the stuff that you guys do, and I don't see how in the world you spread yourself out so much. I mean, how do you guys do that?
That's a really good question. Yeah, that's a lot of strategic planning sometimes, and a fly by our seats process.
I think what we do by the end of December, we're dead. By the end of December comes, we're just dead. No one even can contact us.
Yeah, we usually shut down right after, like right before Thanksgiving. But this year it's been very busy. We've been very blessed and had wonderful opportunities to be a part of a lot of different productions on major networks and stuff. So. A lot of these things, this is a great platform for us to be able to talk about our ghostly encounters, and if it could somehow be a blessing to somebody else, we figure why not do it. So we've had a really good run now. We've been doing television now for I think about 5 or 6 years at least, and probably more than that. So. I don't know. Definitely TV wasn't the plan. That wasn't what we wanted. They just kind of reached out to us back in the day, and we thought, oh, that would be kind of fun. And little did we know that, years down the road, we'd be doing so many different productions and sharing our stories with such broad audiences. But aside from that, I mean, we're in the convention scene, so we do a lot of appearances out of events. We host our own public ghost hunts in our state of Arizona. And we just got a lot going on. I mean, we do quite a bit, but we make it work. Somehow it works. And that's like a lot of Marie's planning, I think, more than mine, because I just say yes, and then I have to deal with it later.
Wow, that's kind of like me and my wife. I mean, she says we're going to do this, and we are okay, So, yeah, so
I've learned a little secret. Jay's always has a cell phone on him, always. So I've learned to program everything in his cell phone for anything. So he tries to do anything, he knows everything coming up.
Yeah, like my calendar looks like like all crazy and like checkered with all these different things that we have to do each individual day. But yeah, we do that, and then we have 2 kids living at home. We have an autistic son that lives at the age of 22, which is a handful at times, and then we have a 17-year-old living at home. So we got to balance all that stuff out, and then on top of all this, we have real jobs that we go to each day. So it definitely makes it a little more complicated.
I think a lot of people don't realize that we do that. We actually do work 40-hour jobs throughout the week as well. So, yeah. I mean, we both have very blessed jobs that actually work with us. So, I mean, we do get a lot of time off for like filming, conventions and stuff. But we still, when we're not doing that stuff, we are working.
Yes, this is very true.
Yes, I can relate to that. I work about 50 to 60 hours a week, and on top of the radio show and on top of the paranormal, so I know where you guys are coming from.
Yeah, it can be taxing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I guess we can just kind of begin at the beginning there. I know some of the questions everybody wants to ask. Well, how did you get into the paranormal and stuff like that? So we'll just kind of start there and just give us a basic run on how you guys got into this and where you are as of right now.
I guess that would start with me, because Marie didn't really know too much about this realm until she married into it. I was pretty much born haunted. So as far back as I can remember, I experienced paranormal phenomenon. And for me, that looked like me seeing spirits, them trying to reach out and communicate with me as a child. Oftentimes in the beginning, what I saw was kids, the children who passed away, and I saw them as they looked at the time of death. And of course, that was terrifying for me as like, a 3, 4, 5-year-old kid, having these experiences. And it kind of progressed throughout my childhood and just continued to escalate and to the point to where, my parents had me psychologically evaluated, which I would pass, and they would say, "Oh, he just has a really active imagination." My family was haunted beside me. So like my mother, my father, they have a history of having paranormal phenomenon happen to them within their own lives. So they were kind of accustomed to that. So it was nice to be able to have someone to kind of talk to about some of the stuff I was experiencing personally. But it really wasn't helping the problem, wasn't making it go away. I definitely, as a kid, looked up to people like Ed and Lorraine Warren. I appreciated their approach to the field. But we didn't have these TV shows that we have today to where we can tune in and kind of relate to some of these things that are happening to other people. Like Marie and I are able to do these storytelling shows. We're able to tell stories. I wish I would have had that growing up, because it would have helped me out drastically. But instead, I would scour magazines looking for news articles about Ed and Lorraine Warren, because it made me feel comfortable that there was other people out there experiencing this type of phenomenon. And there was actually people out there that can come out there and kind of ghost bust. And at that time, I didn't even know what any of this meant. But fast forward to August 13th of 99, I had a near-death experience. I saw what I believe to be heaven and hell, Satan in the hand of God. I asked to come back, as did many that people were around me. And I said that if you give me a platform, I'll speak. And I did. I got out of that situation. I got involved with ministry for a little bit. The church really didn't appreciate my approach as far as me talking to people about ghosts, spirits, demons, afterlife. So they were pretty super, super conservative in how they wanted their approach at preaching. So I kind of got like slowly excommunicated and phased out of the whole process of working with small groups. I soon after, I met Marie, and she can probably take it from there.
My childhood was totally different. I grew up in a Baptist home, gone to church probably, I think it was like 4 or 5 times a week. I was in a very Christian home, so I didn't really hear about ghosts or demons or anything like that. If anyone knows about Baptists, they really don't talk about that kind of stuff, really. Honestly, I think when I met Jay, it was really strange. He told me one of the stories that he actually experienced. Most of the time, I think I would have looked at anybody else that would have told me that. I'd be like, that person is such a liar. I'm running away from this person and never going to hang out with him.
Right.
His eyes, it was just you seeing the truth just pouring out of his eyes. And it never ended. I honestly never met somebody that was so truthful with their face and eyes and everything. And I believed him from the get-go. And plus, I have an autistic son from a previous relationship. And when I started Jay coming around and stuff, my son and him bonded because I guess what Jay was seeing, my autistic son was seeing. Before that, I always knew my son always said he's seen things or heard things, and I just assumed it was his autistic mental illness. And, it was that. But when Jay started coming around, Jay was seeing the same thing. My son started gravitating to Jay more and wanted to be around Jay a lot more. So I'm like, okay, wait a second. Mom's getting jealous. That's my baby. So I started learning a little bit more about the paranormal. I think Jay and I started talking a little bit more about it. At that time, my son's experiences started actually getting really horrible. That's when he started actually every night he would scream so loud. I mean, I woke up almost every night with him screaming like somebody was murdering him. So we sort of had to like fight our own haunting in our own home. So it sort of got me into the paranormal, I guess, field a lot more because we had to deal with it in our own home. We did reach out to,
Yeah, we reached out to clergy and other groups back in the day. This is like early 2000s, and then seeking advice and religious help. And unfortunately, the clergy would be like, "Hey, I have a family. This is something that is beyond me." Teens weren't willing to help out because they felt that it was beyond them. I was angry at the time, but now I look back at all these years later and I put it in retrospect, like, wow, how responsible was it of them to say, hey, we couldn't do this? Because I think so often in this field, we get to a point to where, oh yeah, we'll do it. Of course we'll do it, because it's become a competition in the field. So I look at it now, I go, wow, thank God they did that, because it could have been much worse. But what it did is it sent Marie and I on our journey together in forming Crossing Over Paranormal Society, the Cops group, because we wanted to be that group that instead of saying no or we couldn't, we'd say yes in the face of all evils and whatnot, what they were dealing with. We do a lot of outreach to other teams and stuff like that if we don't have the answers, because we don't. But that's kind of how it all started. It was with our own haunting, and we're still haunted today. We consider ourselves haunted survivors, and that's for a reason. Even as recently as last night, we were having issues in the house and getting woken up by spirit. We have a lot of that. So with that being said, that comes a lot of the stories that we're able to tell at a lot of the conventions and lectures that we appear at, just talking about